Copy abilities. We love copy abilities. A really underrated thing about copy abilities are the enemies and how they represent their copy ability. For example, when you see an enemy like Sir Kibble, you're like, yeah, that cuts shit. Sadly, some abilities have weird enemies like balls, only enemy bubbles. When you see bubbles, you would probably think, oh, I'm going to get the bubble ability, but then you get ball. There's also the thing of how many enemies give the copy ability. For example, ball only has one enemy. And it's fucking bubbles, but Cutter has 9 from Sir Kibble to Fishbone. We're gonna rank every copy ability based on 3 things. The first thing is how well the enemy fits the ability. The second thing is how much I like the enemies. And the third and most important thing is how many enemies give the copy ability. So now that we've gone over how we're gonna rank every ability, let's get into it. Our one and only ability in F tier at number 65 is obviously Ball. Ball is one of the worst abilities for this list if you exclude abilities without enemies like Triple Star or Master. It has one enemy, which is Bubble. Not only do I think Bubble is a boring throwaway enemy that also fits the Bubble ability more than Ball. Overall, it's just a boring, bad, unfitting enemy for Ball. Next up is D tier with Ghost at 64. Ghost only has one enemy, which is a mini-boss named Tedhan. Not only do I kinda hate the weird ghost torpedo things, but the way to get this boss to spawn is ludicrous. First, you need to get 7 pieces of a ghost medal from specific treasure chests. Secondly, you need to go to these mini-bosses and their specific levels to get him to spawn. And you have to do all of that just for a cool ability that's kinda useless. The next ability on the list is Doctor with his one enemy Chemitory. There's not really much to say about it. It only has one enemy and I think the design is just fine but forgettable, so it goes at number 63. 62 goes to Paint. Paint is an interesting case because it either has 1 or 3 enemies depending on the way you look at it. The one actual definitive enemy is just a paint slime from the Heavy Lobster. It's just a blob of paint and it would have been at the bottom of the list, but there are also Camelio Arms and Mark's Soul. They shoot paint projectiles and if you eat the paint you get paint. I kinda hate that you can get a screen nuke in a boss fight, but besides that it's kinda hard to say if it counts as 1 or 3 enemies, so it goes here. Our 61st ability on this list is Throw. Throw only has one enemy. The enemy in contention is Bun. Bun is not Buns. He is just fine and does his job as a big throwing boy, so it goes here. The number 60 spot is Cupid. Cupid is another ability with one boring enemy. This one is Cupid, which does its job and not much else. 59 is Animal with his enemy Gaga. Again, Gaga is fine and that's all I'll say. Next up is Magic at 58. His one enemy is a mid-boss named Boxy. Boxy gives other abilities besides magic from enemies. These abilities are mini by summoning the mini enemy and bomb from bombs he throws. You get magic from eating Boxy's corpse. Boxy is alright, and because it's only one enemy it goes here. Speaking of Mini, it's the next ability at 57. Mini has one tiny little guy named Mini. Just look at him. He's adorable and that's why he makes it to this spot. Artist is next at 56. Vividria is the enemy we're talking about. You can also get Bomb Cutter and Plasma from paintings she makes, which is neat. I like the design with the little French hat and paintbrush hair, and overall just looks cool, so it goes here. Number 55 goes to Circus. Circus's enemy is the Clown Acrobat. This guy has quite the history, being in a picture of a Japanese Kirby children's book named Kirby Meets the Squeak Squad. He was in DDD Drum Dash as a random enemy. The fact that he is in so much stuff on top of having a fun smile and hair puts him here. 54 is up next with Spider. Spider has one enemy, which is a spider named Como. Spider would have been way lower but is saved by 2 things. When you friend him in Star Allies, he gains a spider top hat. I love this hat so much that I have a Spider Kirby plush because it's that stylish. Como also has really cool concept art donning an adorable smile. It kinda looks like a flipped Spinarak. Now you can't unsee two-faced Spinarak. Overall, I really like Como. Next up is 53, which is Staff. Staff's only enemy is Jammerjab. He literally has a move that jumps over the border. Besides that, it's just a really cool enemy. 52 is next with Backdrop. Bugsy is really cool and probably one of my favorite mid-bosses ever. I just really like Bugsy, and it's a really cool way to show off Backdrop. 51 is Copy with Tack. Tack is fine, and I think it's cool that it basically makes the second player a reskinned Kirby. 50 belongs to Light. Cool Spook is the coolest, greatest, and most epic Kirby enemy ever. Easily in my top 5 Kirby enemies. I think he is so cool that I have him as my Steam icon. Mirror is the next at 49, which is also the last one enemy ability. Mirror is one of my favorite Kirby enemies ever, with one of my favorite copy abilities of all time. It reminds me of Blue Archer from Tower Fall Ascension. It's a cool 2D fighter with old style couch co-op, check it out if you can. But anyways, back to Mirror. I love his animation of him swinging his wand. To be honest, he looks better in 2D than 3D, as he kinda loses his charm. Overall, he's a great enemy to wrap up D tier. Now that we're moving into C tier, all abilities from now on will have more than one enemy. Our first ability for C tier is number 48, Laser. There are 2 enemies and a mid-boss. Laser Ball, Metal Guardian, and Doc from his laser attacks. I think Laser Ball is fine, pretty cute, but nothing special. I don't like Metal Guardian. He just kinda looks like he is blasted out of his mind. Finally is Doc. He's a recurring mid-boss, and he's a bit of a goof, but he only gives laser from his attack and not from eating his core. Next up is number 47, Missile. He has one enemy and a mid-boss. These foes go by the name Bang Bang and Bombar. Bang Bang is just a nuke with a face, so it's just here. Bombar, on the other hand, is pretty cool. He's a green fighter jet with an orange pilot helmet. He shoots guided missiles, and you get missile from both his attacks and from eating him, so he's pretty cool. 46 is Metal. Just like Missile, it has one enemy and a mid-boss. It's Metalun and Big Metalun. It's just cute small metal ball with limbs and big scary metal ball with limbs. It's okay, but not much else. 45 is High Jump, is a weird case. It has one normal enemy and one exclusive 2-player only enemy in Kirby's Dream Course. The first normal enemy is Starman. He looks like Starfy picked up a blue towel and pretend to be a superhero. Transformer can give one of all 10 abilities in Kirby's Dream Course. I already told you everything about this ice cream sandwich looking guy, so let's move on. So I forgot to mention, but Bell is at 50. The enemy is Ringle, and he's really cute, so he goes here. Anyways, back to your regularly scheduled ranking. Next is 44, because we have to bump every number down from Light to High Jump, because I forgot about Bell. Anyway, number 44 is Festival. You may think, but wait. Doesn't Festival only have that one weird enemy in level 2? One that guy's name is Don Puffle 2. You can get Festival from Yig G Wood's Golden Cherries. Again, I hate how you can get a screen nuke in a boss fight, but besides that it's fine, and Don Puffle has a pretty funny design, so number 44 is where it goes. 43 is Spear. Spear has some okay enemies. These enemies are Pierce and Lancer. Pierce is a bit creepy and his face kinda looks like a coconut, but besides that he's just here. Lancer is like Sir Kybal and Meta Knight had a baby. Not gonna lie though, it just looks like Meta Knight off Temu. He also has a new bug helmet in the final level, which is cool. UFO is next at 42. The enemies are the titular UFO and Doc's UFO. UFO is cute, but it's just a UFO and nothing else. Doc just makes sense, and I already said everything about him in the laser section. The next ability on this list is Poison, which is our 41st place. Dakuga, Vnog and Myasmores is the talking point for this section. Dakuga looks like a ring pop. That's all I have to say. Vnog is a goofy little guy. There's nothing in that goober's head and I love it. Myasmores is a mid-boss. He's a part of the Galboros family and is an older version of our boy Vnog. Besides the cool family tree, it's pretty cool. Leaf is next at 40. The Discount Tornado Ninja Hybrid has 2 enemies and a boss. Bulby is the first enemy and he's pretty creepy. He looks like he is straight out of Mohora's mask and would probably fit right in. Besides that, he sure is a Kirby enemy. Leafin is super dope. He has a cute little crown and a cute face mask thing and I just love it. The boss is Master Crown from his leaf projectiles. It fits the boss and it is a cool attack, so I like it. The Wonderful Whip is here at 39 with Whippy and Wester. Whippy has a weird model but looks fine in game and not much more than that. Wester on the other half is awesome. He's such a cute little cowboy and I love him. 38 is Beetle. Beetle has an enemy and mid-boss being Beetly and Hornhead. I really like Beetly because it's literally just a beetle's head with feet and a big horn. I just think that Beetle is a cooler version of Sword and this shows it. Hornhead is just a bigger Beetly on its legs and with a more blue color palette. It kinda looks like a mix of Bugsy and Beetly, which is cool. Bubble is next at 37. In this section we're talking about Bubblehead and Bub-Boo. Bubblehead is fine and I like his bubble hair, but that's about it. Bub-Boo is adorable. It's a teeny tiny crab in a shield of bubbles. It's just incredible. 36 is next with Sleep. Sleep has 2 enemies and a boss. The foes in this section are Naughty Red Drill Ball and Wiz from his Poison Apple. Naughty is just iconic. It's the sleepy guy and everyone knows that. It kinda looks like a Bronto Burt knocked out. Red Ball is just a tricky mix-up and nothing else. Wiz gives a bunch of abilities and Sleep is again just a tricky mix-up. Ninja is our 35th spot with Bio Spark Munja and Spinny Shurikens. Bio Spark is pretty iconic. He looks really good in Superstar and I prefer it over the 3D model. Munja looks like a Hershey's Kiss learned some ninja skills and I don't have much to say outside of that. Spinny is very cute but you only get ninja from his shurikens, so he's not designed after the ninja ability. He's cute but he doesn't fit ninja. Mike at 34 is the first ability to have 1 enemy, 1 mid-boss and 1 boss, which is neat. The guys we're talking about is Walkie, Mr. TikTok and Paint Roller. Walkie is cute but kinda generic to be honest and just exists. Mr. TikTok is weird. He looks like he got grooming tips from Mega Metagross and it doesn't look good. I just hate it. Paint Roller is another enemy that gives a lot of abilities. Yeah, I know paint is there but it's only in the anime. You get Mike from its microphone, which you know shit you do. Overall it's just a gumball. Yeah, so I forgot about Smash Brothers, it goes right in front of Bell, just so you know. The one enemy is Master Hand, which is cool, but I'm not saying anything else. Anyways, back to your regularly scheduled thingy thing. 33 goes to Suplex. Its 3 mid-bosses are Jukid, Bugsy and Fan Fan. Jukid looks like Porygon 2 got a Mawashi and became a sex offender. His hands also look like they have butts, which is funny. I've talked about Bugsy in the backdrop section, so let's talk about Fan Fan. Fan Fan is cute, but besides that it's just an elephant head with feet. Freeze Kirby is 32 and is also our last ability of B tier and our first ability with 4 enemies. We're talking about Snoppy, Transformer Chili and Mr. Frosty. Snoppy is so derpy. There's is nothing in that head and he knows it, but I can't say much more as he is only in Canvas Curse. We've already talked about Transformer, so next is Chili. Chili is a great little guy. He is very cute, but I feel like he fits into the ice ability more than Freeze, which can be also said for Mr. Frosty. He's probably the most iconic Kirby mid-boss. He is funny and he also shakes his ass, which is funny, but he fits more with ice than Freeze. Our 31st spot goes to the excellent ESP. We have 5 enemies, but it's more like 3 because there are 3 different Void Terminas with ESP as their ability. Those enemies are NESP or Nesp Telepathos and the 3 Voids. Nesp is fine and sure does exist. Telepathos just looks bad, plain and simple. I just don't really like or understand its design. I'm going to group the Voids into one group because they're the same thing. Void is cool and probably my favorite final Kirby boss, but you could go your whole life without knowing it gave ESP and nothing would change. Okay, so I made my third and final mistake. The tier list didn't have the new abilities from Forgotten Land and Return to Dreamland Deluxe, so now I'm gonna insert them into the list. Sand Kirby's one enemy is Sandran. He is cute and goes in between Mini and Magic. Mecha's one enemy is Armoroid and he fits the ability, but I don't really like him that much, so he goes in between Animal and Cupid. Drill is next and its one enemy is Digu. I love the name, but the design is boring, so it goes in between Throw and Cupid. Ranger's one enemy is Bernard, and with a name like that and a design like that he goes in between Staff and Backdrop. Since the list has gotten a bit confusing, I will recap everything at the end. Anyways, for maybe the final time, let's get back to our regularly scheduled Kirby. We now are at number 26 because of the 4 new abilities, and don't worry, I will show the full list at the end, but now it's time for Wing. Wing has 6 enemies, but again there is the 3 voids. The 3 now void guys are Birdon, Flappy and Algulf. I love Birdon so much. He is so cute and is just the guy. Easily in my top 10 Kirby enemies just from his epicness. Flappy is a weird ugly flying lizard from Kirby Air Ride and I hate it. Algulf is fine. It's just a owl in the shape of a ball, and I'm just gonna skip over the voids as it's the same situation as ESP. Okay, so I went through the list and found a few outliers I ranked to high, so here are those. The first one is Archer with Spinum. He is pretty cool and have a Queen Sectonia variant like Lancer, so it goes in between Circus and Spider. Next is Yo-Yo with Jim and Combo Cannon's Cannonballs. I adore Jim because it's just a super high-tech robot with a cool hat and yo-yo. The Combo Cannon is just that annoying stage hazard on Halibard, and that's it, so Yo-Yo goes in between Bubble and Sleep. Next is Cook with Cookin' Prank with a frying pan and also Chef Kawasaki. Cookin' is like a tiny grumpy Chef Kawasaki and I like him. Prank is fine but pretty basic, so I think he is fine. Chef Kowalski is pretty good and iconic, and he kinda looks like a potato with a hat and a print, so he goes in between Ninja and Mike. Next up is Jet with the 3 Jet capsules. I love how over the series Capsule J evolves over the series, starting as a Waddle 2 looking guy, then getting a more plain look with a helmet, and finally getting a whole fighter plane on his head. I love all of them, so they go in between Mike and Suplex. Okay, now I'm actually done making mistakes. Tornado is next with 3 enemies and a mid-boss. These are Twister, Collar, Transformer and Florina. Twister is a spinning top and that's all I can say about it. Collar is pretty neat and kinda looks like a cast form which I love. We have already talked about Transformer, so let's move to Florina. Florina is a good idea with the Swan Ball Leah Dancer with a Tornado Tutu, but I don't like how they executed it, which is why it's at 25. Plasma is next at 24 with Plasma Wisp, Plug Vividra's Krakow paintings on Partisans, Green Stars and Highness Pillars of Lighting and Green Drop Stars. Plasma Wisp has a really cool sprite but not much else besides that. Plug is a fucking plug and that's that. Vividra can give you spark from her Krakow painting, which is pretty cool, and Zon Partisan just makes sense, and Highness Pillars look cool, so I like it. We have 17 because we have to count the abilities I forgot about left, so let's count down from that with cleaning. We're talking about Broomhatter, Kiki, Bukaset and Haboki. I really like Broomhatter and even did a whole Star Allies frying thingy with it. Kiki is very cute and kinda looks like it would be a very good PFP. Bukaset is just a guy with different weapons and gives a ton of different abilities. Haboki is just a broom with a face. Fighter is next at 16 with Knuckle Joe, Bushin, Grey Golem, Iron Man and Box Boxer. Knuckle Joe is pretty cute and iconic and is just fun. Bushin is just a mole with boxing gloves. Grey Golem.
It's not just a boulder! It's a rock! A rock! A rock!
Sorry, everyone has to make that joke at least one time. Next are the 2 mid-bosses, and the first one is Iron Man. I like this guy a lot, how he just follows you throughout the whole map of Dinablade just to be the most easy shit. Box Boxer is a boxing boxer with huge punchy ears and he's pretty cool. That's Crash at 15. Crash has 4 normal enemies, a mid-boss and 3 bosses, and most of those are from eating explosive stuff. Bomber is iconic and is just trying not to slip yet always does. So sad. Searchers look like they're stuck and that's funny. Mr. Anglep gives you crash if you use copy on it and that's the same with Scarfy. Poppy Brothers Sr. is just a big Poppy Brothers and a okay mid-boss. The bosses are Dark Mind Paint Roller and Metal General and they give a bunch of abilities from them. You know how I feel about getting screen nooks in a boss fight, but besides that it's just fine. Will is next at 14 with Wheelie Yellow Golem Transformer Grand Wheelie Whizz's car and Paint Roller's car. Wheelie is really cool, but let's be honest, the helper version is way better and the fact it was in the Meta Knight Chase was so cool. It's a rock SpongeBob.mp3. Skip Transformer cause we've already talked about him. Grand Wheelie is fine but he looks like he has a construction hat. Whiz and Paint Roller has cars and if you eat them you get wheel. 13 is Water Kirby with Water Galbo Fluid Dribbly Floaty the Cell Core Water Galboros Fatty Puffers Water Blobs All the Voids except Termina's Ability Specific Stars Francisca's Indigo Stars Hydrast's Water Blobs and Crown Doomer's Water Blob. Okay, we have a lot to go over so let's skip the voids. Water Galbo and Water Galboros are just stubby dinosaurs and I like how they're in a family. Fluid is just a ball with eyes. Dribbly is super cute and just a squishy friend. Floaty the Cell Core is just a discount boo-boo. I don't like Fatty Puffer but if something would give water it would be it. Francisca shoots a water cannon that drops water stars so makes sense. Hydrath is a funny monkey with Dribbly's cut. Crown Doomer is just fine but its baby Doomers are everywhere. We are now in the S tier. Also I forgot to say earlier but a tier started with ESP but now on to number 12 Beam. Beam has Gemra Laser Ball Metal Bit Waddle Doo King Doo Security Force from its Metal Bits Metal General Masked DDD Clone 2.0 Zon Partisan and the 3 Voids. Gemra is kinda goofy and I don't like it. We've already talked about Laser Ball and the Voids so let's skip them. Waddle Doo is the face of Beam and that's cool. King Doo is that but stylish. Metal Bit and Security Force are a 2-for-1 as Security Force uses metal bits and they're fine but don't have much of a personality. There's 2 DDD fakes and you get Beam from electric orbs from them and they're pretty cool but doesn't fit Beam. Zon Partisan is the same thing as her icy sister with big electric attack dropping orange stars. Hammer is next at 11 with 13 enemies and we'll go over those now. Mookie is just a little guy who bonks and he's alright. We have already talked about the drill balls in the sleep section so let's go on to Bonkers and Wild Bonkers. These guys are iconic and have so much character. Next are Masked DDD King DDD Forgo DDD Phantom King DDD and Phantom Forgo DDD. They have hammers it makes sense so yeah. Then there's Magler and Magler's Souls Hammers which makes sense. Moral of the story if you have a hammer you're in. 10 is Needle and has mostly normal enemies with 14 regular enemies 1 mid-boss and 1 boss. The first enemy is Needless which kinda looks like a B-traded wings and limbs for spikes. Tajizo is a discount Spiny and kinda looks like Ringle from earlier. Tick and Botan are just fine but that's it. Punk looks like Botan and Tajizo had a baby. Kachikri is another weird Kirby Air Ride enemy. Spiky is cute but that's it. Ghost Knight has nothing in that head. This might just me out it kinda looks like Magnemite got murderous. Cacti is a plus sign with a face. Again skip Transformer and Bucaset because we've seen them before. Totna is fine but a bit creepy and Jabhog is just a purple heat hog and not much besides that. The mid-boss is Captain Stitch and he's a big and angry Gordo. Miracle Matter is a D20 with stickers and a weird final boss that gives a lot of abilities. Our number 9 spot has 16 foes and I'm gonna group them together because a lot of them are similar. Sword Knight Blade Knight Heavy Knight Giant and Wild Giant Edge are just knights with no face or in Sword Knight's case small eyes that have a sword. Snapper is just a baby crocodile head with sharp teeth. Swordery is Honage off of Temu. There are also Dark Meta Knight Stars Meta Knight's Sword he gives you Galacta Knight's projectiles and Phantom Meta Knight's Sword he gives you. What do you want me to say? Meta Knight and Sword are an iconic duo what else? There are also Flamberge's Cool Down Sword and Phantom and normal Coraline's Throne Claws. Okay, so Parasol is actually in front of Wheel and behind Water, and that's because Parasol has only 12 enemies and some of them are a bit boring. There's Parasol, Waddle Dee and Do, who are just waddles with umbrellas. Skip Bucaset and Transformer again. Parasol is a fucking umbrella, and same with Drifter except with the eye. I like Sasuke because he spins. Plinko looks like a grass-type snow runt. Shotzo is just a cannon that sometimes has a parasol. The mid-boss is Jumper Shot, who is a goofy parasol again. Also Paint Roller has a drawn parasol you can eat. It's the 8th spot with Burning. The enemies we're talking about are Flamer, Bobo, Burnus, Galbo, Magoo, Transformer, Bucaset, Fire, Lion, Afridi, Bubut, Batafire, Master Hands, Bullets, Mr. Bright Stars, Miracle Master, Fireballs, Crazy Hands, Bullets, and Molly's Oil Drums. Flamer is just the Inferno Ring from BTD 6. Bobo is just a little guy. Burnus is a little fire bird with a bright blue beak. Galbo is the 5th member of the Galboros family. Magoo is just a coal on fire with yellow eyes. Skip Miracle Matter, Transformer, and Bucaset. Master Hand and Crazy Hand are cool, but I feel like you should get bombed from bullets and not burning. Fire Lion is pretty cool with the fire mane. Afridi is cool because he is the guy that you fight to get the animal friends in the adventure games. Babu is just a big bobo. I love Batafire. He is so cute and fat, and it's just perfect. Mr. Bright shoots fireballs because he is his son, of course he does. I only know Molly as one of the spirits that give you the drill item in Smash. Cutter time at number 6. We got 24 enemies to go through, so let's put them in groups like Sword. Sir Kybal is iconic, and I like his older brother Kybal Blade. Capper is subpar, it's like Capsicid if you gave it a lobotomy. We can skip Bucaset, Miracle Matter, and Molly. Molly does have a wife though named Mrs. Molly, which has a cute flower hat to represent hair. Fishbone is the guy from earlier, and he is just as fishbony as always. Saw is just a saw with a eye, and you can also eat a painting version from Vividra. Boomerang Poppy Brothers Jr. is a mouthful, but it's just a yellow Poppy Brothers with a boomerang. Boomerang Perot is Boomerang Poppy Brothers Jr. on his Joker arc. Juckle is a wheelie in clown makeup. Mr. Shine has stars that he shoots and gives cutter. Shadow Kirby can gives many abilities. Wayu is just a ninja. And it's also weird how he is one of like 6 humans in the Kirby universe. Marks and Mark's Soul have those pink cutter attacks. Flowery Woods is Wispy Woods with a wonderful makeover. Soul of Sectonia, Star Dreams, Soul OS, the 3 Voids, and Chaos Elphilis are bosses who don't feel like they should give cutter. Stone is a ability I don't like, but it does have a lot of decent enemies. Rocky is Mr. John Rock enemy. He is cute and great. Gonsan is like Rocky but 3. Cairn reminds me of those veggie straw chips. Pompey just exist. Hack is a walking axe and probably should have given cutter because axe cuts shit. Skip Transformer, Master Hand, Crazy Hand, Golem, Bucaset, King DDD, Flamberge, and the 3 Void because we yapped about them earlier. Giant Rocky is fine, just Big Rocky. Block Key is a bit weird and boring, and just Ble Moundo is boring, just Big Rocky again. Fatty Whale is the goat. The fancy ass strip with the pipe is crazy. Wham Bam Rock is just I-Rock from Mario 64, and Wham Bam Jewel is Nucleotech. I like Clanky Wood's face cannon, and it kinda looks like a tree pea shooter. Finally is Parallel DDD, where you get stone from his stone, which is the same as normal DDD, which is why he is at 4. Our runner-up before the top 3 is Spark. Skip Bucaset, Plug, Telepathos, Security Force, Transformer, Dark Mind, Paint Roller, Metal General, and Miracle Matter. You know why. Antler is cool because he has 4 different colors. Bobin is probably ruining all the local fish population considering he can make an electricity circle. W Jr. is boring, but the Jr. at the end adds character. Elec is a green version of Flamer but square. Halt Worker is cute but forgettable. Hata is faceless and boring. Spark Eye is Dark Matter from Wish. Sparky is cute and I like how he jumps around. Turbite's just a robot. Zeus is like a Luma Road, a thundercloud. It's W Jr.'s dad W, and he's like a cool robo-octopus, and Master Green is just a octopus. Spark Sphere Doomer is just a green sphere doomer. Queen Sectonia is a mid-boss to be honest, but here projectiles give spark. Susie and President Hulkman also have projectiles that also give spark. Finally is Electric-E Duder, which has a cool fit. In third place is the one the only Ice. We have 30 enemies to discuss, so let's get to that. We are skipping Bucaset Prank White Antler Mr. Frosty Chili Shadow Kirby Marks and Marked Souls Ice Bombs Miracle Matter Ice Form Dark Minds Blue Stars Highness Light Blue Stars and Yussi Stones The Three Voids Light Blue Stars and Francisca's Light Blue Stars. Pungy is the first enemy and he is fine, but his beak is way too big. Phrygus is just Ice-type Burnus. EMP is just a basic penguin. Snowl is super creepy and looks like he has done some bad stuff. Wappa has a really funny name and looks like Sui from Pal World. Strike Box is just a box that shoots ice shield guards. Ice form is cool, but it's annoying when you bump into him and freeze. Propeller is boring and spooky and gives ice for some reason. Karori is super cute and kinda looks like a new Super Mario Bros. Enemy. Yuki is just a pile of snow. Ice Sphere Doomer is just a ice doomer. Wild Frosty is Frosty but wild, which is cool. Goliath is the ice version of Water Wraith. Pawn and Con give ice from blue bombs, and I think Pawn and Con are fine, so they exist, and it's the same with Golden and Silvox. What's the opposite of ice? Fire, which gets our Sliver Metal. We're skipping Red Antler Flamer Galbo Prank Shadow Kirby Fire Lion Misses, Moly Queen Sectonia Flamberges The Three Voids Red Stars Pawn and Cons plus Misses, Bright Stars. Golden and Silvox Red Bombs. Dark Minds Red Stars and Highness Red Stars. Aki is a cute little dino with a fire butt. I love Burning Leo, and in my opinion he is the face of the fire ability, but that might just be because of my nostalgia for Superstar. Heat Fan is weird and looks like the Withering Blowhog from Pikmin 2. Hothead is a fire version of Bubblehead and I like him a bit less, but he's fine. Sizzle Guard is a less okay enemy that's all over Star allies. Fire Spear Doomer is just a red sheer doomer with spice. There's also the Flame Galboros, who is the final member of the Galboros family. Mr. Duder EX has fire skulls that give fire. Coily Rattler's volcanic rocks give fire, and I like his sarcophagus theme. Wispy Woods is iconic and can give fire from his burst fruits. Parallel Big Krakow can give fire bombs, which is kinda cool, and that's all the enemies for fire, so now let's move on to the top spot. It's time. The number 1 spot. The one. The only. Drum roll please. It's Bomb. Bomb has a whopping 48 enemies, so I'm not going over what we have to skip, so just know if I skip an enemy you know gives Bomb, I either already talked about it or the wiki doesn't list it. First is Balloon Bomber, who has such a funny face, but besides that nothing. Balloon Meister is a stupid walrus and he has a stupid bucket on his head. Bomb Robot is so happy and he's a teeny baby. Bronto Bert can hold a bomb and he's iconic, but he doesn't look like he gives bomb. Blowfish is just a fish. Poppy Brothers Jr. is the face of Bomb and is super cute, and I like his PJs. Foley looks like an onion sprout wings, and you also get Bomb when you eat him. When I was a kid I thought Jungle Bomb was a pineapple with a soldier helmet, and that's all I have to say. This enemy is called Pedo. Who at HAL Laboratories cooked this up? It also looks like a Sprite can. Rockin' is a blue version of Pedo. Scud is like Tick from the Needles section and he is so happy. Valm is a goofy looking capsule, but it's just that. Walker Waddle Dee is so funny. He is just barely peeking over the legs and he shoots missiles you can eat. Krakow Jr. is kinda weird, but he does give bomb. Vividra gives paintings of bombs. Deroach and Dark Deroach can give bombs and you sure can eat them. HRD3 and HRH's missiles give bombs. You know, I see a common theme of missiles equal bombs, which is probably why there are close to 50 enemies that give military-grade exclusives. Rampaging Doomers give bomb from their projectiles, and that's all the bomb enemies, and I got to skip like half of them. It's now time to recap the full list. 65 is balls, 64 is ghost, 63 is paint, 62 is paint, 61 is throw, 60 is drill, 59 is cupid, 58 is mecha, 57 is animal, 56 is magic, 55 is sand, 54 is mini, 53 is circus, 52 is archer, 51 is spider, 50 is staff, 49 is ranger, 46 is backdrop, 45 is copy, 44 is light, 43 is smash, 42 is bell, 41 is mirror, 40 is laser, 39 is missile, 38 is metal, 37 is high jump, 36 is parade, 35 is spear, 34 is UFO, 33 is poison, 32 is leaf, 31 is whip, 30 is beetle, 29 is bubble, 28 is yo-yo, 27 is sleep, 26 is ninja, 25 is cook, 24 is Mike, 23 jet is 22. Suplex is 21, freeze is 20, ESP is 29, wing is 18, tornado is 17, plasma is 16, cleaning is 15, fighter is 16, crash is 15, wheel is 14, parasol is 13, water is 12, is beam 11, hammer is 10, needle is 9, sword is 8, burning is 7, cutter is 6, stone is 5, spark is 4, ice is 3, fire is 2, bomb is 1. So that was the list. Sorry this video took so long to come out, but I hope it's worth it. Next video will be a Bloons video because in the making of this video I gained like 80 new subs and 7,000 views on the banana video. Anyways, I hope y'all have a good one, and until next time.